What if I told you that some of the wildest stories you've heard, the ones whispered in dark corners or dismissed as crazy theories, were actually proven true by science? Imagine a world where secret government experiments, hidden agendas, and shocking cover-ups weren't just the stuff of movies, but real events confirmed by cold, hard evidence. From mind control programs to staged attacks, the line between conspiracy and reality is far thinner than you might think. In this video, we're diving into 25 of the strangest, most unbelievable conspiracies that science has validated, turning myths into undeniable truths. These aren't just stories, they're moments where the unbelievable became undeniable, and the truth was stranger than fiction. So, buckle up, because by the end of this journey, you'll see the world in a whole new light. Ready to uncover the secrets? Let's begin. Now turning to our first conspiracy, we delve into one of the most infamous and unsettling government programs in history, the CIA's MK-Ultra experiments. For decades, whispers of mind control experiments conducted by the CIA were dismissed as the stuff of science fiction. But in the 1970s, declassified documents revealed the shocking truth. The MK-Ultra program was a series of covert experiments aimed at developing mind control techniques, often using unsuspecting human subjects. Among the most disturbing methods was the use of LSD, a powerful hallucinogenic drug, to manipulate and break down the minds of participants. These experiments were conducted without consent, and many victims suffered severe psychological trauma as a result. The ethical implications of MK-Ultra are staggering, raising questions about the lengths governments will go to in the name of control and power. What was once dismissed as a wild conspiracy theory became undeniable fact, proving that sometimes the truth is stranger and darker than fiction. This revelation not only confirmed the existence of MK-Ultra, but also forced us to confront the unsettling reality of what can happen when secrecy and unchecked power collide. Now turning to our second conspiracy, we uncover one of the most egregious violations of medical ethics in modern history, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. For 40 years, from 1932 to 1972, the United States Public Health Service conducted an experiment on African American men in Tuskegee, Alabama, under the guise of providing free health care. The study involved 600 men, 400 of whom had syphilis, while the remaining 200 served as a control group. Shockingly, the infected men were never informed of their diagnosis, nor were they given proper treatment, even after penicillin became the standard cure for syphilis in the 1940s. Instead, they were left to suffer the devastating effects of the disease, including blindness, paralysis, and death, all while being told they were receiving medical care. The true nature of the study was hidden from the public for decades, with officials actively deceiving participants and covering up the unethical practices. It wasn't until a whistleblower exposed the study in 1972 that the truth came to light, sparking widespread outrage and leading to significant changes in medical research ethics. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study stands as a chilling reminder of how systemic racism and unethical practices can lead to unimaginable harm, and how what was once dismissed as a conspiracy was in fact a horrifying reality. This revelation forces us to confront the dark legacy of exploitation and the importance of transparency and accountability in science and medicine. Now turning to our third conspiracy, we delve into one of the most pivotal moments in modern history, the Gulf of Tonkin Incident. In August of 1964, the United States government claimed that North Vietnamese forces had attacked American destroyers in the Gulf of Tonkin, an event that served as the justification for escalating U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. At the time, this incident was presented as an unprovoked act of aggression, leading to the swift passage of the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which granted President Lyndon B. Johnson broad military powers in Vietnam. However, decades later, declassified documents and internal communications revealed a shocking truth. The alleged attacks were either exaggerated or entirely fabricated. Evidence showed that the second attack, which was used to justify the resolution, never actually occurred. Instead, it was based on misinterpreted radar signals and a desire to push forward with military intervention. This revelation exposed how the U.S. government manipulated information to justify a war that would go on to claim the lives of millions and reshape global politics. The Gulf of Tonkin incident not only marked a turning point in the Vietnam War, but also raised profound questions about government transparency, the ethics of military decision-making, and the consequences of unchecked power. It serves as a stark reminder of how easily truth can be distorted to serve political agendas, and how what was once dismissed as a conspiracy theory was, in fact, a carefully orchestrated deception with far-reaching consequences. Now turning to our fourth conspiracy, we uncover one of the most shocking and audacious plans ever conceived by the U.S. government, Operation Northwoods. In the early 1960s, at the height of Cold War tensions, the U.S. military and intelligence agencies devised a secret plan to stage a series of false flag attacks, including hijackings, bombings, and even the sinking of American ships. The goal to create a fabricated justification for invading Cuba and overthrowing Fidel Castro's regime. The plan, which was proposed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, included detailed scenarios such as orchestrating terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, blaming them on Cuban operatives, and even faking the deaths of American citizens to garner public support for military action. These chilling proposals were outlined in declassified documents, which revealed the extent to which the government was willing to deceive its own people to achieve political objectives. Operation Northwoods was never implemented, but its existence was confirmed decades later, raising serious questions about the ethics of government decision-making and the lengths to which those in power might go to manipulate public opinion. This conspiracy serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked authority and the importance of transparency in holding governments accountable. It also underscores how what was once dismissed as a wild conspiracy theory was, in fact, a meticulously planned operation that could have had devastating consequences. As we reflect on Operation Northwoods, it forces us to confront the unsettling reality that truth can sometimes be stranger and darker than fiction. Now turning to our fifth conspiracy, we delve into the revelations that shook the world in 2013, Edward Snowden's leaks about the National Security Agency's mass surveillance programs. For years, whispers of government agencies monitoring private communications were dismissed as paranoid speculation, the stuff of conspiracy theorists and dystopian fiction. But Snowden, a former NSA contractor, changed everything when he exposed the staggering scope of the agency's surveillance activities. Through a trove of classified documents, Snowden revealed that the NSA was collecting vast amounts of data on millions of people worldwide, including phone records, emails, and internet activity. Programs like PRISM and X-Keyscore allowed the agency to access information from major tech companies and track individuals' online behavior with unprecedented precision. What was once brushed off as an overactive imagination turned out to be a chilling reality. The government was watching, and on a scale far beyond what most people had ever imagined. The leaks sparked a global debate about privacy, civil liberties, and the balance between security and freedom. While some argued that such surveillance was necessary to prevent terrorism, others saw it as a dangerous overreach that eroded trust in democratic institutions. Snowden's revelations forced governments, corporations, and citizens to confront uncomfortable questions about the limits of power and the price of security. This conspiracy, once dismissed as a fringe theory, became a defining moment in the fight for transparency and accountability in the digital age. As we examine the NSA's mass surveillance programs, it's a stark reminder that the line between protection and intrusion is often thinner than we think, and that vigilance is essential to safeguarding our freedoms. Now turning to our sixth conspiracy, we uncover a pivotal moment in history that reshaped the Middle East, the CIA's role in the 1953 Iranian coup. For decades, the United States government denied any involvement in the overthrow of Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. But declassified documents and historical records later revealed a shocking truth. The CIA orchestrated the coup, codenamed Operation Ajax, to remove Mossadegh from power. The operation was driven by fears that Mossadegh's nationalization of Iran's oil industry threatened Western interests, particularly those of British and American oil companies. With the help of British intelligence, the CIA funded propaganda campaigns, bribed Iranian officials, and even incited protests to destabilize Mossadegh's government. The coup succeeded, and the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, was reinstated as a pro-Western leader. While the immediate goal of securing oil interests was achieved, the long-term consequences were devastating. The Shah's authoritarian rule, supported by the U.S., led to widespread repression and discontent among the Iranian people. This resentment eventually boiled over in the 1979 Iranian Revolution, which toppled the Shah and established the Islamic Republic under Ayatollah Khomeini. The revolution marked a dramatic shift in Iran's relationship with the West, leading to decades of hostility and mistrust. The 1953 coup, once dismissed as a baseless conspiracy, was a stark reminder of how covert actions can have far-reaching and unintended consequences. It also highlighted the dangers of foreign intervention in sovereign nations, a lesson that continues to resonate in global politics today. As we reflect on the CIA's role in Iran, it's a sobering example of how the pursuit of power and resources can alter the course of history, and how the truth, no matter how long buried, has a way of coming to light. Now turning to our seventh conspiracy, we delve into the shadowy world of the FBI's COINTELPRO program. Short for Counterintelligence Program, COINTELPRO was a series of covert operations launched by the FBI in the mid-20th century, aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, and disrupting political organizations deemed a threat to the U.S. government. Among its primary targets were civil rights groups, anti-war activists, and socialist organizations. The program's tactics were as ruthless as they were secretive. FBI agents spied on activists, spread disinformation to sow discord within movements, and even fabricated evidence to discredit leaders. High-profile figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and the Black Panther Party were subjected to relentless harassment, with the FBI attempting to undermine their credibility and destabilize their efforts. For years, the existence of COINTELPRO was dismissed as a paranoid conspiracy theory, but in the early 1970s, leaked documents and investigative journalism exposed the program's shocking scope and methods. The revelations sparked public outrage and led to congressional hearings, which further confirmed the FBI's abuses of power. The fallout from COINTELPRO had a profound impact on trust in government, particularly among marginalized communities who bore the brunt of its operations. It also raised critical questions about the balance between national security and civil liberties, a debate that continues to this day. The exposure of COINTELPRO serves as a stark reminder of how institutions entrusted with protecting citizens can, at times, become instruments of oppression. It's a chilling example of how power, when unchecked, can be wielded to silence dissent and suppress progress. As we examine this dark chapter in American history, it's a sobering lesson in the importance of transparency, accountability, and vigilance in safeguarding democracy. Now turning to our eighth conspiracy, we explore the Manhattan Project, one of the most secretive and monumental scientific endeavors in history. During World War II, the United States government launched a top-secret mission to develop the world's first atomic bomb. Known as the Manhattan Project, this initiative brought together some of the brightest minds in physics, chemistry, and engineering, all working under a veil of absolute secrecy. The project was so classified that even many of the scientists involved were unaware of the full scope of their work. Entire cities, like Oak Ridge in Tennessee and Los Alamos in New Mexico, were built from scratch to house the research facilities, with thousands of workers sworn to silence. For years, rumors of a massive government effort to create a superweapon were dismissed as wild speculation or science fiction. But in August 1945, the world witnessed the devastating power of the atomic bomb when the United States dropped two on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The bombings not only ended World War II, but also confirmed the existence of the Manhattan Project, revealing the staggering scale of the operation. Declassified documents later showed the extent of the secrecy, with even high-ranking officials kept in the dark about certain aspects of the project. The Manhattan Project's success marked a turning point in history, ushering in the nuclear age and forever altering the balance of global power. It also raised profound ethical questions about the use of science for destructive purposes and the responsibilities of those who wield such knowledge. The revelation of the Manhattan Project serves as a powerful reminder of how science, when harnessed in secrecy, can reshape the world in ways both awe-inspiring and terrifying. As we reflect on this pivotal moment, it underscores the importance of transparency and ethical considerations in scientific advancements, especially when the stakes are so high. Now turning to our ninth conspiracy, we delve into the Watergate scandal, one of the most infamous political controversies in American history. What began as a seemingly minor break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington, D.C. in June 1972, quickly unraveled into a web of deceit, corruption, and abuse of power at the highest levels of government. Investigative journalists, most notably Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein of the Washington Post, played a pivotal role in uncovering the truth. Through relentless reporting and the use of confidential sources, they revealed that the break-in was part of a broader campaign of political espionage and sabotage orchestrated by members of President Richard Nixon's administration. Scientific analysis of evidence, including the now famous White House tapes, further confirmed the conspiracy. These recordings, which captured conversations between Nixon and his aides, provided undeniable proof of the president's involvement in the cover-up. The tapes revealed Nixon's attempts to obstruct the investigation, leading to a constitutional crisis that ultimately forced his resignation in August 1974, making him the first and only U.S. president to step down from office. The Watergate scandal had a profound and lasting impact on American politics. It shattered public trust in government and led to significant reforms, including stricter campaign finance laws and greater transparency in political operations. The scandal also underscored the critical role of a free press in holding those in power accountable, cementing investigative journalism as a cornerstone of democracy. Watergate remains a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of vigilance in preserving democratic principles. As we examine this pivotal moment in history, it serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of corruption and the enduring need for accountability in leadership. Now turning to our 10th conspiracy, we explore the shocking revelations surrounding the CIA's involvement in the crack cocaine epidemic of the 1980s. For years, this theory was dismissed as a fringe idea, but investigative reports eventually confirmed that the CIA played a significant role in allowing drug trafficking to fund covert operations in Central America. During the height of the Cold War, the U.S. government was deeply invested in supporting anti-communist forces in Nicaragua, particularly the Contras. To finance these operations, evidence emerged that the CIA turned a blind eye to, and in some cases actively facilitated, the trafficking of cocaine into the United States. This influx of drugs fueled the crack epidemic, which devastated communities across the country, particularly in urban areas. Investigative journalists, most notably Gary Webb of the San Jose Mercury News, brought this conspiracy to light in the 1990s. Webb's series, titled Dark Alliance, detailed how drug cartels linked to the Contras used the profits from cocaine sales to fund their operations, with the knowledge and tacit approval of U.S. intelligence agencies. While the CIA initially denied these allegations, subsequent investigations and declassified documents revealed a disturbing pattern of complicity. The fallout from these revelations was immense. Public trust in government institutions eroded further, and the crack epidemic left a lasting scar on American society, contributing to mass incarceration and systemic inequality. This conspiracy serves as a stark reminder of the unintended consequences of covert operations and the ethical dilemmas that arise when national security priorities clash with moral responsibility. As we reflect on this dark chapter, it underscores the importance of transparency and accountability in government actions, and the need to critically examine the hidden costs of political decisions. Now turning to our conclusion, let's take a moment to reflect on the 10 conspiracies we've explored today. From the CIA's mind control experiments in MKUltra to the shocking revelations of their involvement in the crack cocaine epidemic, each of these stories began as dismissed myths, only to be confirmed by science, evidence, and declassified documents. These conspiracies remind us that truth can often be stranger than fiction, and that what we once considered wild theories can sometimes hold unsettling realities. The journey through these revelations highlights the importance of skepticism and the relentless pursuit of transparency. In a world where information can be manipulated or hidden, it's crucial to question, investigate, and demand accountability. These stories also serve as a stark reminder of the ethical dilemmas and unintended consequences that can arise when power operates in the shadows. As we close this chapter, we want to hear from you. Which of these conspiracies shocked you the most? Was it the Tuskegee Syphilis Study, the Gulf of Tonkin Incident, or perhaps the NSA's mass surveillance programs? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this exploration of hidden truths as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more intriguing content. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep uncovering the mysteries that shape our world.